George on Medicine PS4 and PS5 and Medic Maniac YouTube. So continuing my I woke up early and I have things to say, let's get it all out there. Just continue talking about Forza Motorsport really, and Gran Turismo, and my ideal racing game. So I've spoken about the single player experience in terms of campaign modes and what I'd like to see, things that I'd like to see. And this isn't everything, this is just sort of, you can see the time there at the top, 5:30 in the morning, I woke up early. This is sort of off the top of my head. If I went away and scripted this, which I'm never really good at, I keep thinking I should script things because I've got tons to say, and then I'm never able to script it because I just want to get it out there. I'm an impromptu kind of guy. But I'll talk about other things. So I talked about the upgrading, which it calls the tuning shop. So lately I've been playing Forza Motorsport 6 on an Xbox One, which I was persuaded to buy because a gaming review site called Game Central, which I read, swore blind it was the best thing. It was the best Forza Motorsport 9 out of 10. The thing was broken at launch in terms of, there were lots of problems with the game balancing on the easy, normal and hard difficulties, where it would pound you no matter what difficulties you chose. There were all sorts of other numerous issues that players couldn't connect to online, and obviously the thing that I've mentioned before is the handling model is really bad. For a Forza Motorsport game, it was a downgrade. It went backwards from games that are beloved like Forza Motorsport 3 and 4. So I've been playing that anyway, and one of the things that I did was I was doing the single player campaign in that game because you can no longer play it off online because they turn it off after a bit. Way, all hail online gaming. So in the events, I'd get a car, I'd build it, I'd do some tuning on it to set it up, to make it nicer to drive for me. And then I take it into the paint editor because I can really get on with Forza Motorsport's paint editor a lot better than the Gran Turismo one because it's more user friendly. But I was able to do a build for it, alter the build, swap out parts that I bought, not be punished for more credits, even if they were engine stuff, which is not how Gran Turismo 7 is structured, which I ranted about the other day. So Forza Motorsport's tuning and upgrade package as a game, for a gaming experience, is much better. Once I'd upgraded my car, I was able to select any of the tracks in the game, run my car on it, test it, press the start pause button and go into the tuning menu to set up tow and caster and stuff. And once I made my alterations, I was able to unpause it and continue driving to see how that affected the car. So I could alter stuff to gauge the feel of it to see whether I liked it or not, meaning I could tweak it as I went along to get the perfect setup for me. Once I'd done that, obviously I took it into the paint editor, I put my little gamertag signature on it that I've made and stuff like that, and I was able to enjoy a lot of freedom in customization options and really make something of a car, right? And then take it into the single player event and then play. But in Gran Turismo, what happens is, obviously I spoke about the tuning shop and I went through that, but I can't test my car. If I want to alter the tyre pressure, if I want to alter the tow, if I want to alter the gear ratio, I have a sterile experience where I can't feel the impact. I can't test it, press a start pause menu, alter the settings, and then carry on driving it to feel that adjustment. I can't do it. Gran Turismo doesn't do it. It won't offer me that. It never has. The game has not moved forward. So I spoke about career modes that I'd like to see, or the single player experience that I'd like to see. I'd like to see this. Forza Motorsport delivers it, and Gran Turismo won't. We're in PS5 gen now. There is no excuse. to the best of my knowledge and ability, and I have Forza Motorsport 1, 2, 3, 4 and 6. To the best of my ability, Forza Motorsport 1 offered the bit where I could drive my car, test it and alter things as I was driving around. Right? Certainly 3 and 4 did that, and 2 did that as well. And none of the Gran Turismo games have ever done that. Sony Polyphony, there is no excuse. Your structure of your game does not help the gameplay experience from your customers. Now, most people that I watch on YouTube, they don't talk about this. For me, this is a huge issue, right? It's one that is in the priority of people, priorities to talk about. I've seen people like Alan from Team BVB, who's a reputable motorsport game reviewer, right? He's really good. I really like Alan's content, and I think a lot of him for his honesty and his forthrightness in the way that he talks about motorsport games. Alan has often said on his videos, he's not a tuner. He's not one of these people who sets up a car. He's a racer. He's a driver. I'm a racer, a driver, a hot lapper, a painter, a builder and a tuner, a setupper of a car. I'm all that. I love all that. I love the complete experience. I'm not a drifter though, and I never will be. But you get the point, is that I want to dive into a game, and I want the game to help me get the best experience that I can. And that's why Gran Turismo 7 for me is a crushing disappointment, because it does not help me. So then I go watch other people on YouTube and they don't even talk about it. They're not interested in the setting up of cars like this, or what I call the tuning of cars. They don't care about all these settings. They care about getting in the car and then racing with it. And what that does for your player base is it makes them unaware of what they're doing here. There is no explanation, there is no tutorial, there is no ability to drive your car and tweak it to your liking while you're driving it so you can feel it. The game does not help your player experience, nor does it help its player base get into that side of what it can do. It's like the game has offered like 100% of here's the things that all this game can do, and the player base is being directed to like 2% of it and staying with that. I can get a car, I can build it to this PP, and I can drive it. You can do so much more than that. You can enjoy a level of customization, pride and passion in each vehicle that you purchase with your credits that you've never experienced before, but the game does not help you to achieve that. It does not help you get there. And trust me, that experience of having built your car, worked on it painstakingly in the tuning, testing it for hours and hours and hours to get it absolutely right, working on that paint to get it just so, and then driving it, that passion and that love that you feel for your vehicle is unprecedented. And I've said this before in my videos, the level of customization that games like this should provide is unprecedented anywhere else in any other video game format that I've played, ever. You know, I keep harping on about it. When I was playing Forza Motorsport 3 and 4, and I was on the forums, the interaction I had with the community and the paint community, in the tuning community, to see people commenting on the work that I put in, I had people saying, I love this car. I loved that car too. You know, my Miura B-Class on Nürburgring in Forza Motorsport 4, I put a lot of time and effort into that. People could drive it, it felt really nice. I enjoyed it. You know, the paint that I used to do, that people used to like and stuff. And it's like, other people had tunes that they enjoyed, and the community, I enjoyed lots of other people's tunes. I had great fun in them. Some not so much, because we all have our driving styles. But a lot of people put a lot of effort into their creations, in their builds, in the work that they did in their own home because they were able to utilize the game because it helped them. And Gran Turismo 7 does not help the player base. And this is the game that I was pinning my hopes on for PlayStation to offer me an experience that I was missing. And it's not doing it. And there is no excuse. There's no excuse. Sony Polyphony have had a long time to put out, and build a player experience based on what their vision for the game. And their vision for the game is the player can collect these cars. The player can build them to different classes. The player can set up their cars. And it's not helping that. There's no excuse. And nobody talks about it. Jimmy Broadbent doesn't talk about it. Super GT doesn't talk about it. Alan from Team VVD doesn't talk about it. Just Devon doesn't talk about it. I've chosen those names not because I wish to hammer them, but because they're well-viewed, well-known figures, and they're the ones that I'm drawn to on YouTube. So I'm very sorry, actually, right now. I didn't mean to hammer you for that. My point is that in the racing motorsport game community, if you want people to really get into your game, your little Johnnies and your little Susans, you have to kind of, throw them a bone here. You have to dangle the carrot here. You have to give them an incentive and make your game accessible to be able to get into the intricacies of it. And speaking about getting into the intricacies, I'm getting all tongue-tied. Speaking about getting into the intricacies of it, what we don't have are videos explaining how the tuning system works on different drivetrain models, because it's different, right? And different classes. How to read telemetry. These would be extremely useful in a motorsport video game designed to give a player experience where they can have potentially loads of customizable options. You have to help your players get the most out of your work. If you're developers, you put years and years into your game, you have to help your player base enjoy your work. You have to help them. You have to put in that bit where they can test their car. You have to put a grid-based system on your paint editor so they know how much they've skewed it, where they've positioned it. You have to give them a create vinyl group so they don't have to go to a laptop to get the best out of your paint editor. You have to give them explanations as to how your game works, and not just descriptions about what roll bars do. Most people don't know how to read telemetry. Teach them. Teach me. So an impassioned bit, but I am really passionate about this, and nobody else is talking about it on YouTube, and I don't know why. So once again, I'm going to have to save this because I don't know how long I've been expelling all that pent up stuff. So yeah, I'll catch you in a bit.